Welcome to Breakthrough Conversations with Coach Pete, and I'm Gloria Lybecker. And today we're going to have an intentional conversation. It's kind of a play on words, but just exploring, what does it look like to actually plan to have an intentional conversation? How do you prepare yourself? How do you prepare the other person or persons? And because it's really, I think it's an important topic to even delve into. What are your thoughts on that, Coach Pete?
I totally agree. It is an important subject and can be very helpful in relationships between people, um, and all kinds of relationships, parenting, um, siblings, significant other relationships, every kind of relationship. Intentional conversation can really play a major part. And why is that? First of all, conversations are really important. Communication is important between people. How else can we support people, be on the same page, know where someone else stands without communicating, without conversing? And
Yeah.
then if we do it intentionally, wow, then you're talking about something that can be really powerful.
Yeah. So for myself, when I want to have an intentional conversation, I get really clear about where I'm at right now and really clear about where I want to be. What is it that I'm wanting to create in relationship with someone else? Or what is the message that I'd really love to convey and for it to actually be heard? And when I get really clear on those pieces, then I feel a sense of empowerment in order to be open and curious and to invite the conversation. I like to invite the conversation from the type of energy that I really want to create. So it's a win-win in that way.
You said a lot there, just jotting down open and curious. Those are two really important parts of an intentional conversation as I think of it. Intention, to have intention about something uh, implies to me we want to kind of figure something out. And in a conversation, it's figure something out with someone. It doesn't have to be someone we're at odds with, but something where we're just not understanding each other. The word mediation comes to my mind too, because mediators, good ones, will hold intentional conversations, and they'll be not necessarily in the middle of the conversation going back and forth, but they'll be kind of a vessel to reflect and help each party hear what the other's saying. Because sometimes we get so locked in to what we're upset about or what we disagree about or what the challenge is that we don't even hear the other person.
Yeah. I find mediation to be extremely supportive in those instances. I'm a certified mediator in Washington, and I call it peacemaking is what I do. And it's all about connecting the hearts of people with one another. And until someone's really heard about what their experience is like, many times they can't hear anybody else. They need to be heard first. So I will start with the person in the most pain and for them to feel really heard. And it's true, it's important to be very impartial. You're just there to facilitate the conversation. And I really find it works the best to invite them to reflect back to one another. And if they need support with that, then I'm there to assist them with that. But it's something really magical when somebody, if they have a perceived conflict, to have that other person actually hear what they said and reflect it back. And so that's one of the biggest needs that we have as humans is to really to be seen and to be heard. It's a way of being known for what matters to us.
Oh, it's so important, so important. And we're not, as we lead our lives daily, it's not always top of mind, but it's there. We do need to be heard. And where there's a communication breakdown, it's usually because of that. I'm not hearing someone or they're not hearing me. And the longer that can be unsaid, the worse it can get because it just kind of piles on. You find that to be true too? And
But
it can
people,
build. And sometimes it gets to such a point you don't even know what the source of it was between the two people. So I've been asked to do that too. I was really interested when I used the word mediation. It's just spontaneously it came up from what you were talking about. I didn't know this about you, Gloria, that you were a mediator, but it only makes sense. I mean, you have that whole way about you that facilitates communication. So it doesn't surprise me. But I had that situation recently with two people who just were not understanding each other and in business, and then it was carrying over into their personal lives, and it was really a problem. And so I was asked, interestingly, by both at different times to be that vessel or to be that objective person, just to be there. And it was so moving. And every time I do this sort of thing, it is powerful, as you said, it is moving, and it can be so helpful. And you can see people coming together just by the fact that they were heard,
Yeah.
listened to, and had a chance to express and also listen. It's really powerful to watch and to witness.
Yeah. Well, the solution actually comes out of that conversation. It's not something, as a mediator that I go in with an attachment to what the outcome's going to look like. But actually, when people come together and they really can hear one another, they discover they have their own answer. They have their own solution. Sometimes they just need help being heard.
Discover is another key word to this.
Mhm.
You can't discover what's going on until you have a chance to express and also listen to the other person if it's a conflict. And that intention, it can be so helpful. A lot of my training early on, before I became a coach, was as a volunteer counselor, and it was in this realm. It used to be called relationship counseling, and we were trained to be that vessel, to have people just talk and trust and just open up. And I learned so much in my own relationships and in definitely counseling and now coaching. It's such a key ingredient, intentional conversation.
It is. It's a powerful word, powerful concept. And this has been a powerful conversation. Thank you again, Coach Pete. I look forward to our next one.
My pleasure. Me too.